Hi everyone, Adelita here. Checking to see if we're live yet. Here we go, we're live. We're live. Very cool. So today I want to talk about anxiety. I want to talk about stress, anxiety. I don't know if you could see it on the title. And I don't know if you know this about me. I work with clients, usually business owners and professionals, on how to master negative emotions like stress and anxiety. I also help people lose weight, work on their health, achieve health goals. So they're correlated, as you can see here on my whiteboard. What happens is sometimes I get health clients that want to lose weight. And underlying the weight issues, sometimes we have anxiety, stress, nutrition, thought patterns, beliefs. So we're doing the mindset work on people that are health clients from health coaching. So I'm also a mindset coaching, and I help clients to get rid of negative emotions. I call it unresourceful states. These are emotional state, right? So how do we manage our emotional state? So many times we are overloaded with all sorts of stress in our life. More and more, there are so many stressors, and we're not very equipped on how to deal with these stressors and how to manage so well uh, our emotional state. That's really important. Our emotional state has to be always in balance, right? So that it doesn't affect our physiology, doesn't affect our body. One thing affects the other. So there are certain triggers, there are certain things that will trigger stress and anxiety, right? Certain things will trigger. What are the things that could trigger stress and anxiety? Well, there are physiological things in our body. There are mental patterns and thoughts and beliefs. There are emotions that will trigger old emotions that sometimes not knowing how to deal with our emotions, not knowing how to express our emotions, not being open to feel our emotions, right? Those things can cause the anxiety, the stress to continue to recur until you resolve it. If you don't process it, if you don't label it, if you don't identify what it is, then you can't heal it. So if you can feel it, you can heal it. So that's one of the things that you can keep in mind and write it down if you're dealing with stress and anxiety. I understand a lot of people going through a stressful time right now with everything that's going on in the world. And so I'd like to be of service and provide a few ways in which I help my clients to release and let go of stress. So the first thing that I teach them is that there's like 4 different aspects of the human being that you have to be aware of and manage and see if those things are being taken care of. Your physical body, our biology, right? So sometimes people can have anxiety because their blood sugar levels are out of whack. So maintaining a healthy level of blood sugar. So that will keep your anxiety and your emotions at bay, because believe it or not, so many times, sometimes people have fear of flying and this and that. And then when you dig and do some work, you may see that maybe they're not eating, their blood sugar is very low. And when you have hypoglycemia, inside your body, all the same triggers and the emotions, what you feel inside is a lot like anxiety, but really you're not really managing your blood sugar levels. So that's one thing. The other thing is how's your neurotransmitters well balanced? Are our hormones well balanced. Sometimes it's a hormonal thing. Sometimes it's a blood sugar, could be neurotransmitters, vitamins. You know, there's depletion in our nutrition. So depletion in our nutrition over time will create stress. It'll feel stressful to our body, and it's gonna feel like anxiety. It's gonna feel like stress. It's gonna be physical stress in our body. What are our hydration levels? So this all have to do with the physical body, right? Are we getting enough exercise? Are we getting enough sleep? So these are different ways that you can manage your anxiety. Starting to address these very basic things that we take for granted so many times. So many times. Check, can create a checklist physically. What am I doing regarding my nutrition? What am I doing regarding my hydration? Do I have the vitamins, the supplements? What are the different things that can help relax? Are the thoughts that I'm thinking recurrent? Are these thoughts triggering past emotions? Am I thinking on the past? Right? Is this a situational anxiety? Is this a generalized anxiety? So all those things are very relevant. We also need to know what are we doing spiritually. Do we have, like right now, we are on a very stressful time in the history of humanity, unprecedented times, right? The economy, my job, the income, the uncertainties of the world. If you don't have an anchor to rely on your spirit, rely on your spirit and your spiritual nature. If you have no clue what I'm talking about, that's a good place to start. There are many books. I recommend Eckhart Tolle to start if you have no idea what I'm talking about. And spirituality is not religion. So you can't mix those two. You can be religious and not be spiritual. Imagine that. Because religiosity sometimes is something that you do outside only. It could be, not always. But I see in many cases, you could be spiritual, you could be showing up to, now you can't even do that. You can be religious because you can't go to church. So may as well be spiritual because you don't need a church. You don't need it's nice to have, and I miss it. But you don't need it because the connection with your spirit, your connection with the creator is inside of you. It's inside of you. And if you don't face those things regarding mortality, regarding eternity, regarding those things, if you don't do a life review and really look at your life and really reassess where you're at with spiritually, where you want to be, and readjust, then those things can cause anxiety. And the anxiety comes from fear, right? We are afraid of what? We're really afraid of uncertainty, what's unknown, because it feels like we're gonna die. At the end of the day, we're afraid of dying. Are you afraid of dying? So we have to confront our fear. What is the fear that is driving the anxiety? What is something that we haven't dealt with that is causing these recurrent thoughts? Sometimes the anxiety is it's a friendly reminder of something that we haven't dealt with that we need to deal with. So there are many ways of achieving peace. I think everybody should be at peace and be at calm, be centered, have a good emotional balance, right? Physical balance. So what can you do about anxiety? There's a lot of people with anxiety. You wouldn't believe online the different forums and groups. So people that are so stressed out. There's people going, into very panic attacks, and suicides are increasing because of this coronavirus. So we have to be really careful that we don't lose our emotional state due to outside circumstances. So we are the creator of our reality. So no matter what is happening on the outside, we have the power to maintain our emotional state if we're anchored in certain principles, if we have some tools to deal with this. Okay, so I'm going to give you here some of my tools and the tools that I use that I help my clients with. So as you can see here, I'm wearing some really funny headsets today. This I really love. This is called BrainTap from BrainTap Technologies. This was developed by Dr. Patrick Porter. So BrainTap Technologies. So this is a headset that is like sound and light therapy. It's gonna train your brain. It's brain training through certain binaural bits, certain wavelengths, right? That's gonna trigger those relaxation states, certain waves, that brain waves that are gonna allow you to relax and go into places where it's gonna shut off that sympathetic flight or fight nervous system, right? So we're gonna turn that off. We wanna go relax. So if you don't know how to do that, this is a great tool. I can put the link of BrainTap. I have a huge discount through their website as an affiliate. So if you want to get through their website, you can do that, and then I'll find a way to grab the link and then paste in here somewhere so that you can take advantage of some really great, really generous discount uh, for Dr. Patrick Porter at BrainTap Technologies. So this is one of the things. I also use this for before jiu-jitsu tournaments. I compete as a martial artist. And when I have really big tournaments, I like to use self-hypnosis, right? I hypnotize myself, right? I'm a hypnotherapist. So I use this tool myself so that I am I'm like really focused. I'm like in the zone, right? When I go, I step on the mat, which is life is a lot in the analogy of like going to battle is like facing the battle of the day to day of your reality, right? I have a quote that I posted on my Facebook. It says, the greatest, one of the greatest battles that we face in life is not usually just the physical, but the emotional and mental conflicts that we have all learned to carry. We have all learned to carry. What does that mean? Is the inner battle, is the mental and emotional states, right? That we haven't learned to deal with, and it affects everything. So if your emotional state is always negative, it's always anxious, what is that going to do? It's going to secrete cortisol and other things that will secrete into your body, and that will create deficiencies in your immune system is going to go down, right? You're not going to be able to perform so well. You're not going to be focused. So there are ways to really focus on this and know that you are in control. I want to put you in control of your emotional state. This is really, really important. All the high level executives, high level athletes, performers know that you need to use this tool so you can, in spite of any circumstances, in spite of who is the opponent, in spite of the weather, no matter what, you're gonna show up and you're gonna win that tournament, right? You're gonna win, you're gonna show up and you're gonna win on your life. So that's the mindset. I want to empower you with the mindset of the warrior champion that in spite of any circumstances knows how to transcend negative emotional states that we're all are faced with, right? From childhood, from society, the input that we get from media, the negativity, the poor nutrients that we get, the polluted water, the polluted information, the negativity from friends and family. So all those things, you have to manage that, okay, as a true warrior for your life. And sometimes it's a battle, okay? It's a battle for your mental state, for your sanity, for your peace. So I think it's a very worthy cause. So we have to watch the sensory input that we're getting. And we have to manage that. We have to manage our relationships and people that we're around, make sure they're not triggering anxiety, because sometimes people can be so toxic and so negative. How is our food, our nutrition, the things, the words that we speak, the language that we're using, guys? Sometimes the anxiety that we have is self-generated. Our has a lot to do with our inner dialogue and the words that we're using. What about our posture? Are you having anxiety? I'm pretty sure you can have anxiety if you take a posture of confidence and you bring your shoulders back and you take deep breaths. And just depending on how you hold your body, that will offset the whole physicality and how your body responds to anything that's happened in your life. So we have to be mindful of all of these things. One other thing that I do self-hypnosis. I develop a mindfulness, a practice of meditation. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I don't meditate every day, but every day I practice gratitude. Every day I appreciate beauty. Every day I listen to some good piece of music. Every day I listen to great authors. I have the app called Audible, so I'm always download amazing high vibing authors. Right now I'm listening to Dr. David Hawkins, right? So check it out, Dr. David Hawkins, Power versus Force. He has the emotional scale, the consciousness levels of consciousness that you can learn about. I'm studying applied kinesiology. So you have to, it's a study of self-development, personal development. So if you're having anxiety and this and that, maybe sometimes this is life telling you, hey, you know what? It's time for you to pay attention and work on yourself. Don't Anxiety is just a little tug saying, you know what, work, something is off. Something is off. It's like a GPS, right? Like Abraham Hicks says. So maybe you need to turn around. Maybe you're going the wrong directions. The GPS is saying, hey, turn around. That's your anxiety saying, hey, you're not on the right track. When you're feeling really good and everything feels amazing, that's because you're following everything that you're supposed to be doing in developing yourself, in growing yourself, your self-awareness, developing improving your relationships. Those are the things that are really important, right, in life. Another thing that I've been studying a lot more and more is nutrition and the things that our body needs and what's depleted from our nutrition and the toxins and the food that affects our physiology, our biology. So I recommend magnesium. Everybody, just about everybody, is deficiency in magnesium. So do your own research, learn about that. This is the one I take. I take this one because I don't know if you know magnesium. Um, there's like several types of magnesium. So if you're gonna go buy a bottle of each magnesium like I used to do, you're gonna spend a lot of money and you're gonna have like 7 bottles of magnesium because there's magnesium chelate, there's magnesium orotate, there's magnesium malate, there's magnesium taurate, there's magnesium citrate, and others. Imagine if you have 1 bottle of magnesium of each of these. So here it's all of them. And this is like unheard of. I haven't seen another company. I'm not sure if there is, but this is a proven company that I trust. And I can put a link. It's called Biooptimizers. Sometimes they have promotions, and also I have a discount code that you can use. And they have other products that have to do with enzymes and improving your digestion, because health, it starts in the gut, it turns out. Your gut controls a lot of our digestion, controls a lot of our biological processes, and the food, the nutrition, and all that. It's really something that we really need to learn more about and be aware of, right? So magnesium is going to help you relax. Okay, why magnesium? Of all different things we could probably be missing, right? Not only magnesium, but magnesium is one of the things that help you relax your muscles, right? There's 7 types of magnesium. Um, it's a very complete product. And what it does is gonna help you find that relaxation for your body, for your muscles, where you can really feel at peace before you go to sleep. So you start taking, you start to notice, is noticeable, okay, guys? This is something that the absorption rate is really high compared to things that you buy maybe like off the CVS shelf. This is something else. This is a top quality. So do your research, learn about it. That's one thing. The language, we talked about the language that we talk, and how about our beliefs, right? Sometimes we have beliefs that that cause stress and anxiety, right? So sometimes we have to rethink what is the root cause of the stress and of this anxiety. And if you don't address the root cause, what happens, you go somewhere to some place, some doctor, and you may get, prescription drugs. And before you know, you may feel better, but you haven't addressed the root cause. So many times that happens, right? Now you're dependent psychologically on something that you still have the same problem. You haven't addressed the root cause. And stress, anxiety can create what? Secrete cortisol in our body, reduces the our immune system, and also makes it hard for us to lose weight, start gaining weight, and then lose motivation. It's kind of like a cascade of like, negative thoughts and negative feelings, and the physical and the emotional and the thoughts, and all becomes a crazy, complicated cycle to break out of. But if you start addressing those things, right? Your nutrition, your exercise, your internal dialogue, and start to have a spiritual practice, learn about self hypnosis, learn about programming your mind with good information and reading good stuff and listening to positive music. Be careful the kind of music and the media, the stuff that you're consuming, right? Through your senses, be watchful of that, what we ingest and all that. That will may or may not be helping us be more at peace or to have more stress and anxiety. So these are my tips for you guys to have a more peaceful, more calm life. And finally, I'd like to mention I'm giving away 5 free strategy calls for anyone who wants to work on stress and anxiety methods through coaching, hypnosis. Um, I use NLP and several other tools and techniques to really find out what's the root cause, reprogramming your beliefs and creating a program that's going to help you move away and develop yourself in a way that you get rid of the anxiety for good and find your way back to peace. So if you need any help, if you need information, just you can go on my website, contact page. You can sign up there for newsletters and more videos and information on anxiety, on health and nutrition and weight loss and all those types of things. So if you have any questions, please leave me some comments here so I know that there's people out there that really need help, and it motivates me to continue to do this. And also on YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel. And if you are interested on a free strategy session, I'm gonna put a link down below where you can click and you book yourself into my schedule, and then we're gonna have a chat and we're gonna see how we can help you. So that's it for me for now. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Ciao.